Well, in the world, boy, it's your boy Big Low Country. I hope and pray that everybody out there is doing good tonight. For everybody out there that don't know me, my name is Big Low Country. I'm just old country boy, former football coach that loves to sit around and talk about sports. You could have been anywhere in the world tonight, but you're here with us, and we definitely greatly appreciate that. First of all, if you're watching the show after we've gone live already, make sure that you put a "what in the world" Bo in the comments. Also, make sure that you share the channel with your friends and family, message boards, Facebook, what have you, wherever you want to share things at, Instagram. Make sure that you share the channel. And also, this is your first time chilling and chopping it up with the coaching staff. Make sure that you hit that subscribe button. I would definitely and greatly appreciate that. So, I definitely got to show love to everybody that's showing love to us. Got John Brooks in here, so what in the world, Bo? He said, shout out to Jesse Bates and Nate Lammy and Bud Dupree for playing lights out today, and I'm glad our Falcons got that dub. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sitting firmly atop of the NFC South, a game and a half ahead. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. We're going to be talking about all of that. We're going to be talking about this defensive effort today. We're going to be talking about the offensive effort. We're going to talk about, the way the rookie class is starting to set up, and we're going to talk about player development. We got a few things that we have to talk about tonight. It's going to be a fun show. ATL Skate Man, what in the world, Bo? What's going on, man? Hope you're doing good tonight. Douglas Farrington, he says, we 6-6. Let's go Falcons. You already know it. Stephon Shellen says, what in the world, Bo? Why are these coaches meeting so late? Hey, man, look, I'm sure everybody want to watch some other football and, sit down and watch these other teams that we got to study before we play them. So, I know that's what I was doing. I was checking out that Bucks game against the Panthers and wanted to see what some of their tendencies were and things like that before we played them because we got them coming up this week. We're trying to take a whole nother step, Bo. Whole nother level. Sterling Woods, what in the world, Bo? He said defense starting to click together. Defense has been making some turnovers. Turnovers are contagious. They are contagious. Ed Mitchell's in here. Much love to you, Bo. What in the world, Bo? There's Sean Coswell in here. He says, what in the world, Bo? It feels good. Yeah. A lot of y'all might not know nothing about that, but yeah, it feels good, man. It feels good. Much love to you, Bo. Seth Thomas is in here. He says, I'm worried about the injury bug going around. That's one of the reasons why we were so excited before the season started because, we actually had depth this year. And today that depth showed with the Mr. Clark Phillips. We hadn't seen him that much this season, but whenever he stepped in, he stepped up in a major way. So shouts out to everybody that's joined us. John Higgins, WCG, everybody, Derek Hughes, much love to you. He said, y'all know that there's still ignorant fans who are complaining with the win. The hate is really real towards Ritter. Lord have mercy, boy. Zay in the bag. Much love to you, Zay. Hope you're doing good tonight, man. D. Lawton's in here. Shouts out to everybody that took some time out the other day to chop it up with old country boy, with old coach. Much love to you, man. So the Atlanta Falcons got the dub today. 13 to 8, if I'm not mistaken. You may say, well, hold on, Coach, how did they score 8 points? Well, they scored 8 points because, they did get a safety on us, unfortunately. But, I'm thinking that it's one of those cases where we just have to we got to learn to know what to expect with Arthur Smith and with this offense, right? This offense has the potential. We learned about kinetic energy and we learned about potential energy. This offense is full of potential energy. We don't, whenever it erupts, we don't know what it's capable of doing. But the thing is that it hasn't erupted yet, and that could be a good thing. They say, why could that be a good thing, Coach Lowe? Well, think about it. As we go in, and as we're trying to make a playoff run, and if we can make the playoffs, a lot of these teams and defenses don't know exactly what we're capable of doing. They know that Kyle Pitts is 6'6" and can run a 4.4 40. They know that. But how many times have they seen him run a fade route in the end zone? That's something that we just haven't showed teams yet. They know that Drake London is 6'5" and plays like his hair is on fire. But how many times have we ran a scissor pick play with Kyle Pitts and Drake London and try to hit Drake London in the back corner of the end zone? Jump ball. Rebound wins. I mean, so it's one of those cases where the offense hasn't clicked yet, right? But that New York Giants team that won that first Super Bowl, that offense didn't click till a lot later. Right? The Pittsburgh Steelers and Ben Roethlisberger, that offense actually really never really clicked. The defense was really good. Was it Baltimore Ravens good? No, it wasn't. But it was really good. So at the end of the day, even though it hasn't clicked, there's still a lot of football left to be played. Still a lot of ball left to be played. See Dubs in here. He says, also, hey, Arthur Smith got to go. Shouts out to Coach Roddy. What in the world, Coach? I was thinking, what was world coach thinking with the play calling? Man, look, it's something that we're definitely going to talk about. What's that? Tyreek Johnson is in here with the who that. That's we trying to find out who is that. I thought that was the New Orleans Saints playing down there in New Orleans. I don't know who that is playing here lately. Y'all ain't looking like the Saints, bro. Much love to you, Tyreek, man. Padres in here says, what's good, Coach? The doors of the church of the ASGTG are still open. Won't you come? What in the world, bro? So, let's go ahead and talk about it. So, the offense took a while to get going. Drake London, Kyle Pitts. What am I talking about? Desmond Ridder made a heck of a throw to Michael Pruitt today. Beautiful throw. And, I mean, one thing that we have to acknowledge is that me and Coach Ronan was talking about this. The thing about Desmond Ridder, I think we just want him to be so good. We just want him to be so good. And I remember I looked down at the stat sheet when we were almost at the end of the first half, and I think he only had like 60 yards. I was like, man, it's like we want him to be so good that it feels like he threw for 120 yards whenever he just threw for 60. I think he finished off the first half with like 81 yards, if I'm not mistaken. But he'll make a really, really great play. He'll scramble out of the pocket, and he'll make a beautiful throw to Bijan Robinson like he did last week, or to Michael Pruitt this week. But then you'll have 3 or 4 plays where you're like, man, if he just would have put a little bit more air into the ball, if he just would have done this or just would have done that, we left a lot of points on the board today, family. I'm going to be completely honest with you. Now, look, let's be honest. We won the game, which is the most important thing. We won the game, and the thing is that let's talk about it as far as like a corporate world. In the corporate world, whenever you don't do things as well, they don't say that you're bad at it. They say that it's an opportunity. And I feel like Desmond Ridder just has some opportunities. Cut and dry, simple and plain. I mean, Kyle Pitts, it looks like Kyle kind of gave up on the route, if you ask me, but we ain't even finna go there. Not once, but a couple of times. It looked like Kyle kind of gave up on a couple of routes, what have you, but still, we missed that one. Now, there was a couple of other passes that we missed on some deep shots downfield. I don't know if Kyle Pitts is hurt. I don't know if there's any issues there, if he's disgruntled. I don't know what's going on, but there's no reason why we shouldn't have scored 24 points today. I mean, we didn't, and once again, we still won the game, but the offense struggled. But once again, it's an opportunity because there's still a lot of ball left to be played, and we still have a lot of potential energy and take that next step real soon. It could happen, guys. It can happen. Shouts out to Miss B. He says, what's going on, Coach? What's going on, Miss B? Hope you're doing good tonight, family. Definitely, man. Rue Jedi's in here. He says it would have been 20-8, but they stopped the play on the Rumble. I'm assuming. I understand what you're saying. False-Start Falcons in here. Much love to you, man. You're doing good tonight, Bo. Doing good tonight. We got Molly Mall in here. Molly Mall hater alert. He says, all y'all Falcons fans need to put y'all clothes on, get naked over a win against the Jets. I mean, did the Saints beat the Lions today? I'm just asking for a friend, Mama. Just asking for a friend. Just asking for a friend. The eye test is in here. Shouts out to my brothers, Mr. John, Mr. Winston. Much love to them. Y'all make sure y'all check those guys out. Great Atlanta Falcons content. They said two things. Did they ship in those bad refs from the Georgia game last night? Ooh, bang, bang, shots fired. He says, leading our division, it's the same as being the best tombstone in the cemetery. Goodness gracious. Dun, da, da. That's a Superman chat. I was telling Coach Rody, whenever the Panthers lost, I said, yeah, it's like being at the top of a two-rung ladder. You could just hop down, or you could just take 2 steps up. Or if you a tall guy like me, you just step over that first rung. But it's not that high. We at the top, but it's not that high. But shouts out to you, Mr. John, Mr. Winston. Much love to y'all. Shouts out to Tracy coming in, chopping it up with us on Facebook. Much love to you. Now, one thing that we can say about the offense today, though, guys, is that it's one of those cases where the offense was actually we couldn't follow the same script that we followed last week. You may say, what is that? I mean, that script is basically running for 230 yards and just, leaving cleat marks on the Adam's apples of the New Orleans Saints. That was our script last week. That was our game plan. We couldn't do that. This New York Jets defensive line was a little bit better, and they were stopping us. Another thing that we had to acknowledge, coaching staff, is that, if I'm not mistaken, I seen Storm. Did Caleb McGarry start the game? Because I seen Storm Norton in there for a large portion of the game. Because I was like, wait a minute, 77? That's Storm Norton. Where's Caleb McGarry at? Storm Norton was getting kicked around a little bit. Let's acknowledge that. So, that's something that we had to acknowledge as well. But if we look at the stats, let's see what the rushing numbers were looking like for our squad. Because you got to think about this. The Jets, if I'm not mistaken, they're coming off a bye week. So, this week, Bijan Robinson ran 18 times for 53 yards, 2.9 yards a carry. That's not enough. Tyler Algier, 8 carries, 26 yards, 3.2 yards a carry. That's tough. That's really not enough. Cordero Patterson, 5 carries for 11 yards a carry. 5 carries for 11 yards, 2.2 yards a carry. That's tough, man. And then Desmond Ridder ran it 3 times, and the longest run was for 1 yard. Good grief. Those boys were swarming, Bo. They were swarming today. We couldn't run the ball. Meanwhile, through the air, Desmond Ridder threw 12 for 27 for 121 yards, 1 touchdown. I think the biggest factor that we can put in there is that there weren't any fumbles, if I'm not mistaken. Coaching staff, y'all let me know. I don't remember us turning the ball over on offense. Now, I could very well be wrong, but I don't think we turned the ball over on offense. Carl Thomas in here with the summer rain. He says, can't get far without a good quarterback, coach. And I completely agree with you, Bo. I completely agree with you. My thing is that, is it one of those cases, and this is why I was telling Coach Roney, is it one of those cases where is Desmond Ridder, because I know a lot of people are saying Desmond Ridder's not that good, but is it one of those cases where it's just the situations that the coach puts him in that makes him look bad? Y'all know the story I tell y'all all the time about my mama sending me to school in cat heads, making me look bad. Is it one of those cases where, because we see Desmond Ridder consistently, I ain't gonna say consistently, he makes plays. Every game he'll make a play. You'd be like, okay, Des. Now, whenever he drops back to throw the ball, I don't know about y'all, but I get nervous. I start to sound like Fantasia. In my stomach, there's a pain. Desmond Ridder throws the ball, I turn the other way. Start to stutter when I speak. He drops back, then my knees grow weak. I ain't gonna lie to you. It be getting intense for me. But, it's one of those things. He has to earn our trust. Moving forward, is it going to be one of those cases where if he makes this deep playoff run and he plays efficient ball, like he's played semi-efficient ball in today's game, but last week, I didn't hear nobody with no complaints. If he plays efficient ball, it's one of those cases where you say, hey, Dez, like, we want you to come back and start for us. So this is the first 1-2 question of the night. If Desmond Ridder plays okay ball, do you feel like Desmond Ridder should be the starter for next year? If you feel like he should, put a 1 in the chat. If you feel like it's one of those cases where he shouldn't, put a 2 in the chat. I just want to know what y'all thinking. Shouts out to my homeboy, Big Boy Brewski. He says, hello, Big Low and Coach Roney. He says, ugly win, but I'll take it. Thank goodness for Jesse Bates. Dun, da, da. That's a Superman chat, boy. Jesse Bates, goodness gracious, Lord have mercy. That boy know he playing some ball. He looking like all pro out here. Jesse Bates looking like all pro out here, boy. Best signing in the NFL during this offseason. You tell me somebody who's better. Jesse Bates is the truth. JJ the Great's in here. He says, I'm happy we won, Coach. I think the offense is who they are. He says, we've been hoping for a magical turnaround all season, and they haven't shown us that they can do that. He said, I'm just keeping it 100. Dun, da, da. That's a Superman chat. He's just keeping it 100, Bo. Just keeping it 100. Hey, I ain't knocking you, Bo. I ain't knocking you. Shouts out Reggie Red. Yes, sir. We got that dub. You already know what time it is, man. You already know. But yeah, I can't knock you on that, JJ. It's like we have been waiting, and I heard somebody come out with the theorem that this whole season we've been saving Cordero Patterson because in the last 2 years he's kind of dialed out a little bit as the season went on. So they're saying we've been kind of saving them for these meaningful games at the end of the season. Let's be honest. The offense looked better last week when Cordero Patterson got involved in the game. The first play they tried to go to a screen for him. It was ugly, but they tried to get him the ball. Shout out to Alicia Shepard. She says, I don't think feeling good is what we're feeling. It is more of seeing our team bounce back from 3 consecutive losses to a team we expect to win. And I ain't knocking it. Now the question is, can we go on 3 consecutive wins? That's the question. We haven't done it yet in the Arthur Smith era. Can we go for 3? Can we go for 3 consecutive wins? It's like somebody said earlier in the chat. We're looking for small victories, right? Small victories. We're finding our opportunities and we're looking for small victories. Look, I do need you to do a favor. Make sure, if you're excited that the Falcons won this game, whether or not it was pretty or ugly, if you're excited that we won the game and you need a way to express it, make sure that you put a what in the world. I'm sorry. Make sure that you put, what am I talking about? Make sure that you hit that like button. What am I talking about? If you need a way to express it, make sure that you hit that like button. Promise you hit that like button for me, I'll dance at your wedding one day. Definitely. Also, I see some people in here talking about the college football playoff. We make sure that y'all check us out because we actually did like a impromptu watch along. I'm thinking about getting ready for the next game. We did an impromptu watch along of that Georgia-Alabama game. Unfortunately, our Georgia Bulldogs couldn't pull through. Alabama, and then they also got into the playoff, and Georgia didn't make it. And, but y'all make sure that y'all subscribe to us because we those are the types of things that we do over here at Big Low Country Sports. So make sure that y'all hit that subscribe button and like button. So let's see what everybody's vote was, because I put a burning question out there, asking, look, do you think we should, if Desmond Ridder plays efficient ball, do you think we should go ahead and, re-up, go with remix, do it again? I said, if you feel like we should, put a 1 in the chat. If you feel like it's one of those situations where it's like, hey, let's move on. Put it two in the chat. I just want to know what everybody's thinking. Slim guys in here, he says, I'm with you, Big Low. I get the shots when Dez drops back, getting ready to throw. Yeah, man. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie to you. I be getting shook up a little bit, but I get kind of nervous. I get kind of nervous. John Higgins, he did say there was a fumble, but we didn't lose the ball first play of the game. Okay. So there was a fumble, but it wasn't a turnover. So Stephon, he says 2. He says one of them cases where, continuous improvement, go ahead and move on. Dre, he says, look, man, go ahead and double that thing up. Go ahead, you come back with it. Dwayne P says Dez is a winner. He's 6-4 as a winner. What in the world? You mean 6-4 as a starter? Explain it to me. Retro G, WCG, they say 2. They say, yeah, I think it might be time to move on. Lamar and the King, they say 1. They say, hey, like let's try it with Dez again. You never know what's gonna happen. EJ Jackson says, heck nah. So them guys says, nah, I'm good. Derek Hughes, Jonathan Holder, Timothy Allison, they all say that they would go ahead and re-up with Dez, and I ain't knocking you. JJ, Dwayne P, what's that? Cypress Mitchell, they say 2. They say they trying to move on. Shouts out to you, Tim. Tim said he'll go for it with Dez again. Shouts out to Sterling Wood, said he'll go for it with Dez again as well. Lisa says a fair assessment looks at what has gone right and what needs improvement. Exactly. What has gone right? It's like an end of the year assessment, which I'm sure some of y'all are going to be getting that are in this chat right now. Whenever your boss sits down and goes over, how you performed this year, they're going to talk about the things that you did well first. Hopefully they talk about the things that you did well first, because that's a big telltale sign. They talk about things that you did well, then they'll talk about your areas of opportunity once again, or areas where you need improvement. So, you're right about that, Lisa. Shouts out to Matt Town Dirty's in here. He says, 2. He said, you want some competition, bro. He said the C word. Boy, you off the chain. P-Star says 3. He says, I don't know. C-Double says 2. Trying to move on. Shouts out to my homeboy, Mr. CDX in here. Much love to you, bro. He says 1. He says he'll run it back with Dez. I ain't knocking you, man. Shouts out to you, Henry. He says, what's up, Big Low? Opinion putting all day. He putting long today. Lucky number 13 today, I guess. He says, I'll take any win at this point. Shouts out to Bradley Pinion, man. He was putting foot to ball today. Foot to ball. You can't beat it, man. Can't beat it. So, moving forward, yes, the offense was struggling, but once again, number 1, you got to give the Jets, you got to consider that the Jets were in a bye week last week. You also got to consider the Jets are playing for their playoff lives. It's not a situation where, it's looking like they could win the division. They got Miami over there, and Tyreek Hill's looking like he's going to get 2,000 receiving yards this season. Mike McDaniel's looking like he's going to be the coach of the year. So moving forward, the Jets were playing for their wild card spot. And also consider, as far as reasons why we struggled offensively, it looked like Caleb McGarry was out of the game for a significant time. Like I said, I'm not sure. I didn't hear anything about him being hurt before the game. If I'm wrong, somebody please let me know in the comment. But they never said it during the show. During the game. I never heard Jonathan Vilma say it, but he probably has hate in his heart because he's a former Saint. I never heard him say anything about Caleb McGarry coming out of the game. Like I would say he's our most aggressive pass blocker. That boy loved to block people in the run game. Shout out to my homeboy One Time for the Fan. He says, are you concerned with Matt Hollins' injury and next season as wide receiver 2 a major concern moving forward? You know what? The thing is, I would be concerned if we threw the ball consistently 35 times a game. If it was a situation where we threw the ball 40 times a game, I would be more concerned. I feel like, and I hate to say this because I never want to see anybody injured, I feel like Matt Hollins' injury may be a bit of a blessing in disguise. Just saying. Think about it. You have one less wide receiver. I mean, you still had the Van Jeffersons, you still had the Cordero Hodges, you still had the Scotty Millers of the world. I mean, you still got Drake. Bijan Robinson's going to catch his fair share of passes. Jonnu Smith, he was the leading receiver for a long time this season. Cole Pruitt, he's out there looking more like Kyle Pitts than Kyle Pitts. And you got Kyle Pitts. So, and don't forget, I mean, we've seen Cordero Patterson line up in wide receiver slot a whole bunch these last few weeks. So moving forward, it's like, I'm not as concerned this year, but next year, as we get a more explosive offense and hopefully a new offensive coordinator that can get the ball out a little bit more, so we're not in situations like we were at the end of this game where we got to get a 3rd and 7 and we cut the field in half by rolling out to the right like we always do in pressure situations, and a free rusher came at Desmond Ridder. Look, let me go ahead and leave that alone. Anyway, hopefully it's one of those situations where we get a solidified number 2 wide receiver in free agency next year. That's the goal. Shouts out to my homeboys one time for the fan, man. Old Jack Spade, Bodie, and all the guys over there making some great content. Y'all check them out. Smitty's in here. He says, little bro, what up? Man, Falcons offense is anemic. Archie Smith can't even make a collect call. Coach, Smitty, a lot of these kids in here don't know how to make collect calls. You sitting here saying, look, let me ask everybody in the chat. Y'all know how to make a collect call? If you know how to make a collect call, put a Y in the chat. If you don't, put an N in the chat for yes or no. I can almost guarantee you there's young Thundercats in here that don't know how to make a collect call, Smitty. I would reference how you do it, but I ain't even gonna say nothing about it. Definitely. C-Double said he hit that like button. I appreciate you, Bo. I'm gonna dance at your wedding one day, man. Or your anniversary party, whatever, whatever you got going on. Oh man. That was a bad play call for Cordero Patterson. But once again, sometimes you just have to get it's some things that you have to come to expect, right? I remember whenever Matt Ryan was in his gunslinging stage, and it was one of those cases where you knew Matt Ryan was going to make some great plays, in the game. You went into every game saying, "Look, we got a chance because we got Matt Ryan." But then it's one of those cases where it's like you knew that Matt Ryan gonna put the ball in danger 1 or 2 times because Matt Ryan, he's a gunslinger. He think he's James Arness from Gunsmoke, another old reference that a lot of young Thundercats might not know, unless you went to your grandma's house in the summertime. Here it says, let's hope Nate Landman and AJ Terrell aren't seriously hurt today. Our defense is what's keeping us in business this season. Now, hopefully not, Bo. Hopefully not. That concussion protocol. Hopefully they start the process early on getting them back on the field in this divisional game next week, because that's going to be important. Shouts out to Wilder Smith in here. He says, what's going on with your coach, Lo? It wasn't pretty, but we got that. Exactly. Sometimes it ain't going to be pretty, Bo. There's more than one way to skin a cat. There's more than one way to skin a catfish. Y'all hear me talk about it all the time. You put that nail in the post. You cut that catfish, cut the skin back up around the head. Then you hang that catfish on that nail. You get a pair of pliers and you pull the pliers down. Skin come off. Or you do like my auntie did one time and called herself try to step on it. Fin went through her shoe, foot got this big. Either way, there's more than one way to skin a catfish. I don't know why I'm talking about this. Oh, man. D-Lock, he says, nah, man, Dez ain't that guy. Give us a young stud like Penix or Daniels. I mean, the thing is that, this college football playoffs is going to determine where Penix goes in this draft. If Penix, if he wins one game, yeah, he ain't making it out top 5. He ain't going to make it out top 5, Bo. I'm just going to let you know. If you look around the league, quarterbacks are hard to come by. He ain't going to make it out the top 5. I don't care who up there. They're going to be like, hey, I can definitely. The team's going to be like, yeah, I can definitely use a quarterback. Oh, man. What somebody talking about Kyle Funky armpits? What in the world? Molly Mall. Keep that hate out your heart, Molly Mall. Let me see here. Let me see. the Smitty made a reference to a collect call. Let me see what everybody in the chat talking about if people know how to make a collect call. Jonathan Rozier, he says, wow, okay. Jay Murphy, Jonathan Holder, Mr. CDX, man, okay then. You can tell y'all share a phone booth back in the day. D.A. Hunter, Anwar, Sterling. Okay, a lot of people say they know how to make a collect. JJ says, no, I'm not old. Hold on now, JJ. Wait a minute now. You ain't old. I ain't old, but I know how to make a collect call. Hey, you need to, you need to watch your verbiage, young Thundercat. This all love, JJ. This all love. ATL skate man, you know how to make a collect call. Brandon says 1-800-call ATT. Okay. Bad Child Dirty, Derek Hughes. Okay, a lot of people in here know how to make a collect call. I see y'all. See Double, Ken. Okay, how about that? John Higgins. Ain't nothing wrong with that. So we got another Superman chat from Coach Padre. He says, hey, Coach, unless Desmond goes off for the rest of the season, you can't really rationalize keeping him as a starter. Dun, dun, dun. That's a Superman chat. Okay. I understand, Coach. Now, what's your definition of goes off? So let's say he comes in and he's just throwing for 185, 200 yards a game, but we go to the NFC Championship. You see what I'm saying? He plays mistake-free football. You know, the last 6-7 weeks of the season, he only has 1 or 2 turnovers that aren't his fault. What's your definition of going off? You see what I'm saying? Like that's the question. What's the definition of going off? Like at the end of the day, Timothy Allison, he says Ritter only played 4 games last year. It takes 1,000 snaps for the game to start slowing down for a quarterback. Ask Bryce Young. Look at Jordan Love now. Look at the stats for Matt Ryan's first 2 seasons. It takes time. You already know it, man. You also know what that is? Since it's $10, I had to give him something a little bit extra. That's that dun-da-da. That's a Superman chat. Definitely, I appreciate that. I mean, and you're right, though. I mean, it takes time. Anytime you do, anything that's different or new, it takes time. I don't care if you're new on a job. I don't care if you're newly married. I don't care if you're a new parent, a new dog owner. It takes time no matter what you're doing, right? So, we have to acknowledge that. I mean, it takes some time. J2 statement, he says, what in the world, Bo? He said, I'm late, but I'm here. Ugly win today, but a win nonetheless. The South is solely ours. You already know that, man. You already know it. We got Pelican No Year here. He says, Big Low, Mickey Loomis is in Baton Rouge right now. LSU, Jordan Daniels, Let's Go Saints. Well, hold on, because we don't even know if Mickey Loomis is going to be there to make the pick in the draft next year. The way the Saints going, we don't even know he's going to be there, Bo. He went to Baton Rouge for nothing. Oh, man. But I'm glad that we had this. I'm glad that we're having this conversation about the whole quarterback situation because, these are the types of questions that we have to answer, next year or leading up to, the draft and free agency next year. It's like, is Desmond Ridder going to be the guy after seeing what we've seen so far this year? Because think about it. You could be in the same situation that the Saints are in right now. The Saints, they went out and they got their guy, and Derek Carr paid him $150 million, $37 million a year, thinking that was going to solve all of their problems. Is it solving their problems? No, it's not. So, it's just one of those things that we have to take into consideration. So moving forward, we're going to see what happens with the offense. The only hope is that the offense can just continue to get better, baby. I don't know what's going to happen. But the only hope is that we just don't run a stretch play while we're on our own 2-yard line. What in the world was that? What did y'all see the safety? If everybody who saw the safety, put a 1 in the chat. If you seen what happened, put a 1 in the chat. Bo, I just don't know why you would run a stretch play at the 2 yard line. Bijan Robinson is a heck of a talent, but he's not the guy that you just run a stretch play on this defensive line. First of all, why is Bijan Robinson even in the game? Why do you not put Cordero Patterson or Tyler Algier in there? If you just need, I mean, it's like the first time they ran the sneak, they got like 2 yards. I'm like, okay, all right, Arthur. I mean, as soon as it comes out my mouth, like, okay, Arthur, all right, that makes sense. I mean, as soon as it comes out my mouth, what does this joker do? This joker doggone messed around and had a doggone Mad TV moment. Look what I can do. Like, it never fails. It never fails. Oh boy, I'm sorry. I had to get that off my chest. It never fails. He always do it. Oh man. Chris Rogers, he says the team is winning despite Arthur Smith and Desmond Ritter's awful quarterback play. I mean, I just feel like it's one of those situations where I don't feel like Arthur Smith is a bad head coach. I just feel like he's a bad play caller. Give that role to somebody who can legit kill it, right? Like give that role to somebody who can take it and make it their own. Like who can draw up some plays that make sense to get our playmakers the ball in space. It's like I saw Deebo Samuel get an end around today. Or was it an end around? Yeah, I think it was an end around. He got the ball, and guess what happened? He was in space. He let his athletic ability take over, and he made a heck of a play. Scored a touchdown. If the referee wouldn't have blew the whistle, he would have still been running right now. That's what we want. That's what we need if we're gonna take it to the next level. Because I'm gonna tell you something. You got these other teams out here, like the Dallas Cowboys, as much as I hate to say it, who can put up points. And they can stop teams. They create some turnovers. You're going to have to put up points against those guys. 13 points ain't going to be enough. It's not going to be enough. You got the San Francisco 49ers who just embarrassed Philadelphia today. Embarrassed them. 13 points ain't going to be enough. You got Philadelphia. Even though Philadelphia got embarrassed, they scored more than 13 points. Again, 13 points ain't going to be enough because that Jets team isn't as good as that Philadelphia team. Let's just keep it a buck. Let's see, Dre Murphy, Lamar, D. Lawton, Sterling Woods, they all said, everybody said they seen that safety. If I ain't going to lie to you, I was yelling some expletives at the television. Derek Hughes, Little Black Falcon, they said they saw it. Mac Town Dirty. I mean, it was tough to watch. Every season sells the dopest play call ever. Shouts out to my homeboy Dre. Dre says Coach Lowe, aka Beloved. He says, where they do that at though? I got better sense on Madden not to call that stupid mess like that though, Beloved. Hello. Hey, look, Bo, I don't know. It's kind of like what my homeboy John Yates said from Out of Your Falcon Mind. He was like, Arthur Smith said, yeah, they'll never see this coming. It's like, it like something off of a movie. Like everybody was back there tackling Bijan. It was tough. It was tough to watch. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, it is what it is. Like I said, once again, we can only hope that Chris 24, boy, if we had that defense from 2016, in the words of my little cousin Shady, it's GG's. It's GG's all day. All day. All day. But I'm going to tell you, you talk about that defense from the offense from 2016, this defense from 2024 is different. This defense from 2024 is different. Because I'm going to tell you something. I remember whenever I was watching the game, I was like, man, boy, there's going to be a whole lot of people who's going to be getting that Stand on Business award. Shouts out to everybody who's getting Stand on Business award today. For everybody that don't know, we have a special award for players on the team who stood on business, in honor of King. And shouts out to Tip. Tip, please don't beat me up because I can't do nothing with you. Anyway, shouts out to Jesse Bates today for standing on business. Jesse Bates came in, got him another pick. He's looking like an obvious all-pro player. He keeps balling out like this and gets some more picks. He's looking like he could be a defensive player of the year. Let's be completely honest. I was going to ask the chat if y'all feel like it's one of those situations where he could possibly be a defensive player of the year. If you feel like he could be a defensive player of the year, put a 3 in the chat. If you feel like that's not going to happen because there's an obvious other choice, put a 4 in the chat. But like I'm going to tell you, Jesse Bates came in and stood on business today. Shouts out to my homeboy Chris Tipmore, A1 forever. Much love to you, Bo. What in the world, Bo? I see you in here, man. Y'all go make sure that y'all check out my boy Chris out, Bo. He making great content over there. Dre, he says on that safety, Dalvin also got whooped on the line. Williams is a man child. He legit is. He legit is. There's a lot of people that got whipped at the line. Offensive linemen, they would hit that and running back and looking all confused like they didn't know what happened. That happened. Let's see. Bradley Watt, man, Jesse Bates is a beast, Bo. Jesse Bates is a beast. And I'm going to tell you something. His play is rubbing off on Richie Grant because Richie Grant is also a recipient of the Stand on Business Award today. Shouts out to Richie Grant for standing on this business. Richie Grant was all over the field. He was up around the line of scrimmage. He forced a fumble, if I'm not mistaken. He was up around the line of scrimmage. He was making plays in the defensive backfield. He was in the flat. Richie Grant was all over the field today. Shouts out to Richie Grant for standing on business. I see you out there, Richie. Oh, man. A1 forever, Killer Lewis, Black Mario, JJ the Great, EJ, Derek. They all say that they can see Jesse Bates. Jesse, where's Jesse? They all say that they can see Jesse Bates being a defensive player of the year candidate. And I can see it too. Dallas do got that good DB. I think he's leading the league in interceptions this year with, I think he got 7 if I'm not mistaken. ATL Skate Man, and Chess Not Checker says 3 and 4, but it's all good. WCG said he don't see it happening. Oh, man. But, yeah, I mean, look, Jesse Bates and Richie Grant stood on business today. You know somebody else who stood on business today? While we in the defensive backfield, shouts out to Clark Phillips for standing on business today. AJ Terrell, y'all know it's well documented over the years. I've been saying that AJ Terrell comes down a little bit too reckless with his tackling. He needs to make sure that he picks that head up and start doing some form tackles. But I understand what he's doing. He's trying to protect himself because you come down in these flats and tackle these guys, who got 20, 30 pounds on you. It's a daunting task. But if you come in missile mode, it's a little bit different. So AJ Terrell went out with a concussion. And I'm gonna tell you something. Breece Hall was running. He was running hard all day long. Like Breece Hall is legit that dude. Y'all know that I said I wanted him bad in the draft 2 years ago, but I mean, look, is Bijan Robinson really a consolation prize? So we're good with Bijan Robinson, but Breece Hall was running hard. And I know that people were talking about it on Twitter. I said that, look, whenever that impact happened, basically, AJ Terrell, he came in just like he was taught in Pop Warner. You come in low, low man wins. And especially in a case like that, when you coming up against somebody who with that heavy lower body like Breece Hall, AJ Terrell came in low. Breece Hall, he dropped his head at the last minute. Them helmets collided. And AJ got the worst half of it. I could tell that bell was ringing in his head. See Coach Ronnie in the chat. She said, "Well, we'll definitely be in New Orleans for the Saints game, Lady T." Oh yeah, we'll definitely be in New Orleans for the Saints game. Y'all, can somebody in the chat ask Coach Ronnie, did she hit that like button? Because Coach Ronnie has a habit of not hitting the like button, for her beloved. So somebody in the chat, please ask Coach Ronnie if she hit that like button. If you could do that, I would definitely and greatly appreciate that. Definitely. Shouts out to my homeboy Alberto. Alberto Molina's here. He said, Big Low, is it time to buy that Ritter jersey? I mean, I ain't been. That's on you. I can't tell you what to spend. That's on you, boy. Oh man, I can't tell you. If you need to buy it or not. That's your own personal decision. Oh man. But shouts out to Clark Phillips, man. Clark Phillips came in and stood on business. He didn't look like he was a rookie. He didn't look like he came off the bench. Clark Phillips came in here, and I mean he mixed it up with everybody, man. Coming in, getting tackles, making plays in coverage. Like, shouts out to Clark Phillips. I mean, there was a couple of times he got caught out of position, but you're a cornerback in the NFL. That's going to happen. And I want to see how he would have responded after that happened. His head was up. Nobody had to mess around and tell him to keep his head up. That didn't happen at all. Clark Phillips came in, and he stood on business. So shouts out to Clark Phillips, man, for coming in and doing what you need to do. Who else stood on business today? You want to know who else stood on business? Shouts out to Bud Dupree. What in the world is going on with Bud Dupree? Mactown in the house. I see you, Bud. Bud, coming in here standing on business like that. Had them quarterbacks looking crazy. They ain't the crooks, son. Them boys are some shook ones up there in New York. Bud Dupree was a man on a mission today. I would say he was the defensive MVP. Multiple sacks, multiple strip sacks. He had a strip sack to put the game away. Shouts out to Bud Dupree, Bo, for standing on business, getting the job done. I appreciate y'all for asking Coach Ron if she hit that like button. Much love to you, Dexter Flash. I appreciate that, Bo. I appreciate that. ATL Brit Sports says, I fell asleep and missed the game. What did I miss? You ain't missed nothing, because a lot of people fell asleep during the game because neither team could really score. The Jets had more safeties today than touchdowns, so that should tell you exactly what happened. But yeah, I appreciate you, Dexter Flash. Coach Ronnie says, I hit before I started detangling my hair. Thank you very much. Okay, Coach Ronnie. All right, Coach Ronnie hit that like button this time. I appreciate you, Coach Ronnie. Look, Coach Ronnie, she got hit that like button because she supports the old dog all the time. It don't matter if it's hitting the like button. She makes sure she keep me on the straight and narrow. Definitely. The Raymond Collins is the hashtag Clark Phillips. Yes, Derek, Bud Dupree stood on business today. Yes, he did. So look, y'all make sure that y'all put in the comments who else y'all felt like stood on business today. As you've seen, I really didn't mention nobody on the offensive side of the ball because nobody really stood out to me today. But if someone did stand out on the offensive or defensive side of the ball, make sure that you put it in the comments so we can highlight who the coaching staff felt like stood on business today. Definitely. Shouts out to Ryan Nielsen. Ryan Nielsen is doing so good at disguising these coverages. I've seen so many times where you're having safeties come up, lining up in the blitzing position just inside of that slot corner, just inside of that nickel cornerback. And I'm sitting here saying, hey, that looks like that zone coverage, because nobody's following the man in motion. One thing about Jets quarterbacks, they really weren't putting people in motion that often. But one thing that I seen is that it was one of those cases where Ryan Nielsen did a real good job at disguising the coverages between man and zone coverage, and that definitely confused um, that quarterback many times because a lot of those sacks that we got today were coverage sacks. Let's see here. Quentin Willis says Bud definitely stood on business. Put the quarterback in $1 million dream sleeper hold. That's rough right there, Bo. Oh man. Let's see here. Zay in the bag. He says, "Is Jesse Bates the best player in the NFC South?" You know what? You could very well be on something. I think I'd be doggone, Bo. I think you might be right. I think you might be right. Let's see here. I seen somebody else put something up. Cool Bean says, "Man, that's a good kid. Boy, just needs some doggone sun." Oh man, like he's scared to death, looking like Casper the Friendly. Hey man, I ain't finna let you talk about Kane, man. Tip my homeboy. I ain't gonna let you talk about Kane. Derek Hughes says Nate Landman stood on business today before he got hurt. Yes, sir. Shouts out to you, Nate. Standing on business. Much love to you, Nate. Nate Landman, he like I said earlier, he went into that concussion protocol. So it's one of those cases moving forward. Hopefully we can get him back because whenever Smith came in, he also looked like a shook one because he blew coverage. I think the second play that he came in the game. So I was like, ooh, I don't know about this one. I said, I don't know about this one, boy. Oh man, Zay the bag said Michael Pruitt stood on business today. He had only touchdown of the game. You know, he stood on business. He made a heck of a play, stretched out, caught the ball in the back of the end zone. You can't even knock it, Bo. You can't even knock it. You can't even knock it. So now our Atlanta Falcons, we're sitting here. We're 6-6, right? So before the season started, I said, hey, my prediction was 9-8. That was my prediction. I'm gonna stick to it. You know, I'm not gonna fall off from it. The goal, the perfect scenario, would be to sweep the NFC South. That would be the perfect scenario for me if we could sweep the NFC South. The first step of that is beating Tampa Bay this Sunday coming up. That would be the perfect scenario. We could sweep the NFC South if we could, because we got Tampa Bay, then we got Carolina. So we're gonna see what happens. Because I'm gonna tell y'all something. I got a surprise for y'all. NFC South Roundtable is on Thursday nights. Thursday night at 8 o'clock. So make sure that y'all tune in. And for all the people who are watching who never seen it before, so me, 3 other content creators from the Carolina Panthers, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and I say the New Orleans Saints for last because they're our actual division rivals. We sit and we talk about what we see with our team and our opposing teams. And, we have a little bit of friendly banter, but it's a really, really good show. So if you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe because on Thursday night, we're doing the NFC South Roundtable, and it's going to go crazy. Oh, baby, the NFC South go crazy. So make sure that y'all hit that like button. And if you haven't hit the like button yet, make sure that you do hit that like button. If you need a way to express, your sorrow if you're a Saints fan, because they lost again, and you just don't know what to do. You wander aimlessly around the bayou. You need a way to express it. Hit the like button. If you're happy, you're a Falcons fan because you're a game and a half up in the division, and you trying to go up even more, hit that like button. Because I'm gonna tell you, whether the Tampa Bay Buccaneers want to admit it or not, that game was too close for comfort. That was a close game. And a lot of times, whenever you have those close games and you're going to an away game in the next game, there's normally a little bit of a drop-off. I'm hoping that's going to be the case next week. I'm hoping that we could go ahead and jump ahead of these Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They're not the same Bucks. They're not the same Bucks. I mean, I understand, Tom Brady's gone and everything, and I understand that there's going to be a drop off offensively, but defensively, they're not the same Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So, that's something that we got to keep in mind. Yes, Antoine Ward time. Yes, we're doing the NFC South Roundtable on Thursday. So make sure that you come in and chop it up with us. Pelicans know you says, and then Atlanta goes home in the first round of the play. What in the world? Pelicans know you get that hate out your heart, Bo. Just because you don't see yourself making it, you don't got to put that on us. The hate is so real, boy. Goodness gracious. Shouts out to my homeboy Padre. He says, hey, Coach, I just thought about something. How many statement wins does Arthur Smith had since taking over as head coach? Hashtag ASGTG. What the word? It sounds like you got an ulterior motive to this question, Padre. How many statement wins? But let's look at it. I mean, what was that, last year or the year before last against the San Francisco 49ers? I think that's a statement win. Last week against New Orleans, I feel like that was a statement win. I felt like the first game of the season against the Panthers, because the high expectation that the Panthers had and high expectation that the Falcons had, we beat them convincingly. I feel like that was a statement win. I also feel like that's a da-da-da. That's a Superman chat. I had to slide that thing in there. But yeah, I feel like he's had a few statement wins, But moving forward at the end of this season is where he's really going to have his opportunity to really get some real good statement wins. If you can sweep the division, you talk about a whole nother kind of game there, Bo. If you can sweep that, like that don't happen. That don't happen often. Yeah, yes, Padre. Yes. We found PMP. We found them. We went to the local animal shelter. We found the flea-bitten kittens. Shouts out to my homeboy Tyler Russell in the chat. He says our defense is winning games. I can't knock you. Crazy thing is that our defense could have won even more games. But, once again, this offense, and you're a pretty scientific guy, Tyler Russell. You with your occupation and everything. I threw out a scientific term. I said, this offense has potential energy. Hopefully we could transfer it into kinetic energy. Boy, I sounded smart when I said that. Let me say that one more time. This offense has potential energy. I could have said it sounded smart. This offense has potential energy. And they have a potential to make it into kinetic energy. There you go, Bo. But basically what I'm saying is that hopefully they can start to click as the season goes on. There's still a lot of football left, especially if there's a playoff situation going on. And we can see what happens moving forward. Excuse me. We'll see what happens. Lamar says still waiting on Arthur Smith to stand on business.
Hey, ho, Arthur Smith has got to go.
Okay, Coach Rhodes. You heard Coach Rhodes. She came walking through the house. I don't know. What in the world? The hate is real. But yeah, moving forward, we're just gonna see. We're just gonna see what happens. Let's see here. Mets champions. He says we're number one. Yeah, we're number one right now. A game and a half ahead. You got a chance. Who do the Saints play next? Oh, the Saints played the Panthers, if I'm not mistaken.
Next week?
Mm-hmm. I think that's a good, and that's why it's such a good week for us to have the NFC South Roundtable, because all of these teams are going to be playing against each other. Yep. So the Panthers and the Saints are playing each other. The Saints are going to be at home. The Saints were in a dogfight today. They almost came back and won their game. Almost.
And they're going to be playing the Panthers, who were eliminated from playoff contention.
And one thing that's dangerous.
Yep.
One thing that's dangerous,
Yep. Team with nothing to lose.
you'll never back a cat into a quarter. You'll never back a cat into a quarter. So, look, the Panthers, they don't got nothing to lose. You know, so hopefully it'll be one of those situations. They'll stand up and they'll stand on business and do something with these doggone Saints. You never know. Never know. Raymond Collins says, Lo, you got a cheerleader up in there? That's the only cheer she knows. She don't know nothing else. Oh, man. Well, yeah, one thing, you know, so the thing is that if we could beat Tampa Bay, if we beat Tampa Bay, we could go up 2.5 games, if I'm not mistaken. Because Tampa Bay, they'll end up being 5-8, and if we could go up and be 7-6, we could go up 2 games on Tampa Bay. So yeah, like let's go ahead and widen the margin. Like not play any games. My goal is that the last game of the season, when we down there partying in New Orleans, that we don't have to win the game. That's my goal. You know, my goal is to, you know, we go down there, you know, I jump in a couple second lines, and you know, we go into the Little Caesar Superdome pizza, and it's and it's one of those cases where, you know, win or lose, we still winners. That's the goal, you know. So, I mean, if that can help, if that can work, I'll be more than good with it. That's right, Tyler. FALCONS. Hey, so that's a chant for you right there, Coach Ron. Instead of just your regular.
Not really a chant. They're just
Hey ho
spelling
ho.
it.
That's a chant.
They're just spelling it out.
Okay.
I want a little bit more creativity, like I do it.
Okay, I hear you. Alberto Molina says, Big Low, who'd you rather face in the first round of the playoffs? I want to get there, but
Yeah, who would you want to face?
the Panthers.
Who can we beat?
The Panthers. I would love to play the Panthers. The first game. Nah, I ain't gonna lie to you. Give me the Dallas Cowboys. I want them. Okay. Last time we played the Cowboys, they embarrassed us.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah, I want the Dallas Cowboys.
That was ugly too.
I want to beat the Cowboys.
They got the game 2 years in a row in Dallas too.
Exactly. I want the Cowboys, and I want to be saying random slogans as we beat them up and down the field. I'm gonna be yelling random slogans to Dan Quinn.
Like what?
Embrace the suck. Touchdown. I want the Cowboys. Like, give it to me. Give it to me. But that's right. The Cowboys will be embarrassed. Tyler talking about it'll be embarrassing again. Dang, Tyler. Goodness gracious. Mr. Positivity over there. I mean, so y'all let me know in the comments, like who would y'all like to face, you know, if we did make it to the playoffs. We had that first game at home. Who would y'all rather play in the first round of the playoffs? Because I'm looking at it right now. Let's see. So we look at the standings. I mean, you got the Cowboys, you got Minnesota in the running. You also got the Rams and Seattle Seahawks. So, I mean, there's a few squads that you have a chance to play against. Ty Russ says all roads lead through Dallas. But they ain't finna lead through Dallas if we division winners and they wild card winners. Like they got to come to Atlanta. Jay Black says, "Give me the Vikings." I ain't mad at you. Tyler says we can play well against the Seahawks. Thing is, Seahawks, they're going to put up points now. That's the thing. Seahawks are going to put up points. Can you keep up with that? But the thing is, all of these playoff teams can put up points. That's the thing. Bernard says, Detroit, I don't want no part of Detroit.
No, we already know.
I'm good. I don't want to fool with Detroit.
Right.
You can leave Detroit where they at. I don't want no Detroit. Quick Willis says, Philly, to go ahead and get them out the way. Okay, I hear you. I hear you. Oh, man. Dre Nelson came here and said, Big Low, blow it out. Do you know Atlanta Falcons can't beat a good team? Facts. I mean, look, we've seen some crazy things happen in the playoffs. What do all these coaches say? We just trying to get to the tournament. We get to the tournament, then whatever happens, happens. You got to get there first, right? You can't get a cheeseburger if you don't go to McDonald's. You can't do it. You can't get a pizza unless you go to the Pizza Superdome, Little Caesar Superdome. How you gonna get cheesy sticks? You ain't gonna drive no Mercedes-Benz at the Little Caesars Pizza Superdome. You ain't gonna do that. You gotta come to Atlanta to drive Mercedes-Benz. Mercedes-Benz all over the place. I ain't never seen one in New Orleans. But if you want some mystery wings, no, you don't know what flavor they is. They just Little Caesar wings. You go to New Orleans. You go to them for that. Oh, man. Slim guy said, I'd rather face the Seahawks. Padre says, whoever it is, it's going to be a problem. It's supposed to be. It's the playoffs. It's supposed to be a problem. But, you know, like I said, Art Smith, he might come out and surprise y'all. He might say, hey.
Art Smith is going to surprise us. Now you sound crazy. Get off of there.
Art Smith might be like, okay, guys. Now it's real. Like, you never know.
I've been saving these plays.
Now let's run some plays that actually make sense. He pulls out a new play sheet. You never know. Oh, man. Black Mario said that's because the Benz would have come up missing in New Orleans. What? Hey, we had a Maybach. Anybody see this Maybach we had over here? We had a chip in this last seat on the 5th Ward. Could anybody please go under the bridge and get the...
Wild in New Orleans, but every time we've been, we had a good time.
Well, Coach Ronnie, you know, I ain't even finna go there.
Don't even go there.
Coach Ronnie said every time we've been to New Orleans, we had a good time, but she heard us wild. Yeah. Coach Ronnie put me in danger.
Okay.
Trey says, Big Low, I'm with your wife. Hey, low. All this business got to come. What in the world? Low. Oh, man. Tyler Russell says, hey, ho, I hate the Cowboys. Wait, that didn't rhyme. Oh, my goodness. Let's see here. So, Henry, he says, Cowboys, Eagles, or anybody else, anything can happen. Falcons might come out of nowhere and run the table. Just have to watch it all develop. See, the thing is that two things that travel well, and, you know, TSA, they don't ask you to pull it out of your bag. They don't ask you to, you know, you can just leave it in your bag and everything. It travels so good. It's a defense and a run game. Like, it travels well. You don't have to carry a certain amount of it. You don't have to put it in a plastic bag or nothing. It travels very well. A run game and a defense, anything can happen. Anything can happen. So, I mean, moving forward, like, you're right, Henry. Like, we just got to see what happens. You know, I I ain't finna sell them short. I think anything can happen. In the words of KG, anything is possible. Anything is possible. The Spectre says Bo Nix, Jaden Daniels, Michael Penix, or Shadur Sanders. Which one do we draft? Because Desmond Ritter is not the answer. Dang, go. Woo, man, out of all those, man, I don't know. I really like this Michael Penix kid.
I do too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like this Michael Penix kid. I feel like Michael Penix could be a really good quarterback in the NFL. Sometimes, like, you look at some of these kids and you be like, okay, yeah, this is just the system that they're in, that's making them successful. But nah, I really like this Michael Penix kid. After watching him, Jaden Daniels, I see that Bradley Walker, he said he likes Jaden Daniels too. I gotta see a little bit more of him. It's like I know that he's put up these crazy numbers. Like 300 yards passing and 200 yards running in the same game. The first guy to do it. Um, Derek Hughes says, "Bless you, Coach Roney." But I need to know, like, can you come run an offense and be successful at it? Can you command a huddle? Is it a situation where players will want to play with you and support you? I mean, because that's one thing that we see with Desmond Ritter. It seems like the players really like him.
Yeah.
But I mean, at the end of the day, players really like Dan Quinn too. Let's keep it above. Players really like Dan Quinn, but Dan Quinn he wasn't a good coach, at times. So he wasn't a good head coach at times. I think he's a really good coordinator, and sometimes you just gotta, make the decision that you make, and sometimes you're just gonna be good at one thing and not as good as another thing, right? Padre says Penix knees made out of silly string, though. Yeah, that is true. He does have some issues with. He just had one knee injury. Yeah, he's at silly string. He had one knee injury, but let's be honest. If you play football since you're 6, 7 years old, everybody's gonna have some knee injuries. Like that's just gonna happen. So I don't know. We're gonna see what happens in that regard. All I know is that moving forward, these Atlanta Falcons are 6-6, and we don't know what to expect as of right now. The only thing we can do is just hold on and enjoy the ride. I don't know if any of y'all ever been to the rodeo or seen a rodeo on TV. You gotta hold on for 8 seconds. Shouts out to Garth Brooks and the rodeo song. I ain't gonna sing it because I get too into it. But fact of the matter is that we just gotta hold on, handle the business that we need to handle. I feel like we can win this division by 2 games. I feel like by week 15 or week 16, the division could be decided. So we just gotta handle our business, and everything else will fall into place. Lady T says, "Big Low, I sent some second line videos to you on Instagram to get y'all ready for New Orleans." Uh-oh. I'm gonna have to get ready now. I'm gonna have to get ready. Definitely. I appreciate that, Lady T. I appreciate that. Moving forward, I did want to ask everybody, do y'all feel like the Atlanta Falcons are capable of winning the division? Or I'm not even going to say capable. Do you feel like the Atlanta Falcons are going to win the division after seeing what we've seen so far, these first 12 games? You feel like we are going to win the division? Put a 1 in the chat. You feel like it's one of those cases where it's not going to happen because we don't trust Arthur Smith, Desmond Ritter, or whatever? Put a 2 in the chat. I just want to know, where the fan base and where the coaching staff is thinking at this point in time, because that's something that's definitely taken in consideration. All the time, y'all get me straight. But if you feel like we can win this division, put a 1 in the chat. If you feel like it's not going to happen, that's not going to be the case, put a 2 in the chat. I definitely want to know what y'all thinking. Let's see here. Tyler Russell, he says 1. Brad, he says, Coach, I have a question, sir. Just shoot your question to me, Bo. Shoot your question. Well, Amy says the offense can't keep relying on the defense every week. And that's what we've been talking about. That's what we've been talking about. Lamar, Bradley Walker, Timothy Allison, they all say that they feel like the Falcons will win the division. Pelicans know you. He took his heart out of the situation. He said he feels like the Falcons are going to win the division. Macktown Daddy's in here. He says, yeah, it's the Falcons division. Bernard, he also agrees. Kenneth Lewis and the Spectre, they all think that the Falcons are going to win it. Black Mario says 1. He says that we're going to sweep the division. Well, if we sweep the division, NFC South Roundtable ain't going to have nothing for me. Oh, my goodness. If we sweep the division, oh, my goodness, boy, it's going to be crazy. Jay Murphy, Derek Hughes, Jay Black, Quentin Willis, they all feel like we're going to win the division. Bernard Cantrell, shouts out to you, Bernard, says he feels like we're going to win it. Project says 1, but come on. What in the world? What in the world, Project? Goodness gracious. Right? Come on, Shelly. Come on, Shelly. Come on. Another Mad TV reference for folks that, come on, Shelly. Raven says 1, but still want them keys from Martha Smith. Oh, yeah. So, something got to change. Andrew Walls in here came in here and said, rise up. And you already know what time it is, man. Bradley Walker says, why can't Pitts get in the end zone? You know what, Bradley? At the end of the day, you got to throw to him. I mean, he can't catch the ball if we don't throw to him. I feel like the plays that we develop, the plays that are developed, number 1, you have a lot of long developing plays, and number 2, it's like the people who are developing these plays aren't good at drawing people open. I mean, just cut and dry, simple and plain. Some people just aren't good at some things. And as much as Archie Smith wants to act like he is, he's not good at it. He's not good at it. So, I see that Will Amy, he says Kyle Pitts just need to get comfortable with the quarterback. I mean, he was pretty comfortable with Matt Ryan. He had 1,000 yards, but he only got in the end zone 1 time with Matt Ryan. So it's the design of the plays at the end of the day. Yeah, I mean, and I agree with you. I agree. He's the 4th pick. I completely agree with you. He's not being used the way he should be used. Right? You got a Corvette that's plowing the field. Like you let that Corvette get on the road, bro. Like I don't know what's going on. I wish I did. And so at one time, it feels like we're going to win this division. So I mean, it looks like we're all pretty much in agreement. I think we're going to go ahead and we just need to make sure that we take care of business, and moving forward, do what we need to do. Now, I understand that it's Sunday night and it's 10:57. Monday is normally my busiest day of the week. And I'm pretty sure y'all are going to be busy tomorrow, getting to work and taking family to work and taking family to school and everything else. I hope that y'all have a safe and productive work week. Also, please, y'all make sure that y'all hit that like button if you haven't hit it yet. If someone could someone please give me a count on what the like is, how many likes we got so far? I would definitely and greatly appreciate it. Make sure that you share the channel with your friends and family. Or if you're on any message boards or, anything like that, I would definitely appreciate it. And make sure that you subscribe to the channel. I would definitely and greatly appreciate that as well. I'll dance at your wedding one day. Tyler Russell said we got 94 likes. So, look, if you're watching the show now and you hadn't hit it yet, you just forgot about it because you was having such a great time, make sure that you hit that like button. Or if you're watching it later, if it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, any of those other days, and you're watching it later, make sure that you hit that like button. I would appreciate it. Thank y'all so much. We're at the top of the division. Let's see if we can take that next step and really take control of the division. What in the world, Bo? Rise up, 8 times down. You already know what time it is.